Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is LORENAAGUIRRE and I post here on my YouTube channel every Monday and Saturday. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the fun. But today we are going to be doing a Gelx fill-like version. So basically what I did is remove the length of the tips, filed them down to a little bit of the extend gel, and then I am just dehydrating basically dehydrating the part that needs extend gel over it, and then I'm going to be priming. I have been using this method on her, and I do feel like this is faster for me instead of actually having to file it all the way down thin like this and then end up having to go in and soak the rest of it off and scrape it off and then apply everything back on. I feel like this is faster, and for her nails I do feel like this is really nice just because it doesn't thin out her nails, just because with Gelx you do have to prep over again, and I don't want to, like, to me there is no point in prepping the whole nail unless it's like the extend gel has been on there for some time. I do feel like next set that she does come in, I am going to soak everything off just because I want it to be fresh. I don't want her to have any problems, or like if the gel is lifting. So I'm going to see how her nails are doing by the next time she comes in, and you guys will be able to see that video. So make sure to follow me. I will let you guys know. And then after I primed with my young nails, I'm going to go ahead, and I had already sized her tips. The tips we are using is from Apres, and they are the natural long tips. And I am just going to get my dehydrator, and I am going to etch the underside of the tip. So if you guys don't have the etching thing from Apres, you guys could definitely try and use this. This has worked for me, and I feel like I really like doing this method because I don't feel like it's as messy as doing the filing on the other side, and it keeps everything looking nice and neat. And then now I'm going to go ahead and get that extend gel. When I am painting it on the nails, I like to paint the length of their natural nail. So paint it all the way down to where their natural nail is, and then do a little bead so then there is some for that fill area. And then place it on, make sure it's straight, and tap until it flows all the way to the edge. And then if it needs adjustment, I try to do that now. And then I'm going to get my flashlight and cure that down. I like kind of to bounce back and forth on each side, and usually I will count to 5. And when I do have the sculpted tips, just because it does apply more gel on the other underside, I do feel like it takes me a little bit longer to make it stick down, but that is just what works for me. And then you guys will see I paint down and then leave a bead of gel, scraping it off right there. And then go ahead, press it down, and then if there is any, or something ends up happening or I didn't like it or anything like that, I scrape the tip across the nail and drag it down. Don't ever just lift automatically up, because all that gel that is underneath there, it's going to end up flowing all over the nail, and it's just going to be a hot mess. And then go ahead and tap. Make sure it's nice and straight, and if it's not, start over. This tip was, I don't know what it was, but I feel like I just couldn't get it. And then I like to cure the bottom of the tip, usually around 5 seconds, going back and forth, making sure it's nice and cured. And then I like to still hold pressure and then go to the top and do the top. And just kind of go bounce back and forth, making sure that it's secure on there, just because you don't want to end up letting go and then there end up being air bubbles and things like that. And the flashlight that I did get, this is a flashlight from Amazon. I ended up getting this in the 2-pack. I really like having it in the 2-pack just because I feel like it allows me to make sure that I always have one on hand and one is always going to be charged for me. Especially with nails and stuff, I feel like you can never have enough of certain things just because it's like if one goes out, always have a second one on hand just so it doesn't end up messing up and messing with your services and not being able to do it. So if it's like a tool that has to you need to get done, but as far as artwork, that is something that I don't recommend having a lot on hand unless it's something that your clients always end up getting. So like with me, the art stuff that I do have on hand, a while back, a rose gold glitter was definitely in style. Everybody and their mom loved that. It was a raw glitter, rose gold. Everyone wanted it. So, and I would run out of it so much. So I ended up finding a larger container of it and buying it in bulk. And so I still have that on hand. Our black glitter, that is something that my clients use a lot. So the black glitter, I feel like I really like to have that on hand as well. I don't like to not end up having it. But the great thing about these flashlights is that they do retail for about $6. So basically you're getting both flashlights for $3 a piece. I know they don't come with the they don't come with the rechargeable thing or anything like that. They are battery operated. So if that is something that you guys are looking for, I like to either have battery operated or I really like to have anything rechargeable just because of the fact that a lot of times when you are working from home, I feel like in my area, they work on the streets a lot, and so sometimes they'll have power outages for a long period of time, and then we're without power. So I really wanted to. I ended up having a year where I had, I think, like 3 or 4 power outages within 6 months, where I wasn't able to work, and especially if you are a very very busy person and have a very busy schedule, you guys all know that it is so hard to rebook your clients and things like that, and especially when you are charging deposits and you're kind of like with me, I do feel like when it comes to appointments and canceling and stuff, I am pretty strict, but if I do cancel on my end, I really try to accommodate my clients just because I don't know. I don't want them to ever think that I'm thinking that my time is serious and their time is not. So I definitely really, really try my best to get them back in as soon as I can. That is, it's accommodating for them just because I know sometimes they end up even having to take the day off to come to me because I only work certain days and some of the days that I do work I'm already booked. So sometimes they will end up having to actually take the day off to end up coming in, and then for something like that to happen, it really messes up my schedule. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't end up having to cancel if a power outage did go out. So that is kind of why I ended up getting my Kiara Sky lamp and my Kiara Sky drill and Koopa drill. I do have that as well, but that is something that I have. I kind of needed a backup drill, so I originally had Koopa, and then I ended up switching to Kiara Sky, and just because I do need to get my Koopa one repaired. But if you guys see my latest video, you guys will know that I ended up switching back to my Koopa one. If you guys do want to kind of explanation why, definitely check that out. But now I'm going to go ahead and put her in the light while I'm working on the other one. I'm putting her in the light for 60 seconds. And usually I tell my clients, like, if they, they'll usually ask me, like, okay, does it need to go again? And for Extend Gel, just because I apply it, or like it is applied so thick on the underside, I really want to make sure that it is thoroughly cured, just because with undercured things, if it's left on their nails, they can have an allergic reaction, and I don't want any of that happening. So of course, if they're able to cure a second time, then why not? The bottle says 60 seconds, and I do feel like with for Extend Gel, I am more than positive that it could cure it in the 30 seconds, like other clear nail like top coats, base coats, and things like that. But for this product, I do really like to make sure it is very thoroughly cured, because I feel like with a top coat you could get away with 30 seconds in some cases, unless it's a matte. I do feel like matte, you do need to go the full time that it does state. But as far as other top coats, I do feel like I've never had a problem with chipping or anything like that. So if it does go for 30 seconds and then I move on to a design over the top coat, like let's say I end up doing like a sweater nail or anything like that, I am able to do it without any problem. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put that into the light, and that is going to go for 60 seconds. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my 80/80 grit files, and I'm going to just taper them in on the sides and just make everything look very nice and thin. And I just like my tips being tapered. I heard that though, I have yet to happen to me any of my appraised tips breaking. I know a lot of people in the nail support groups that I am in, I see that they've been having times where their nails will end up breaking in half. And with me, I have yet to have that problem. I don't know, maybe if they're filing too much on the sides, that is something that Appraise had kind of like touch base on it on their TikTok and saying why your tips may be breaking. And they basically said over filing the sides or the top will end up making it to where the tips may break. And then even if it is a super long tip, cutting them all the way down, the apex is no longer in the correct place. So if you guys do decide to do Gelx, definitely make sure you get the sizes and shapes that you need, just because if you end up trying to change this shape, like from this square shape, if you do try to do a stiletto with it, chances are the stiletto is going to break. And I have experienced that in the past yes, you know what? I had one client, she wanted to do a fill on her Gelx, but she didn't want to do it with the Gelx Extend Gel. She wanted to do it with the Extend Gel, or she wanted to do it with acrylic. So basically, kind of like a hybrid nail. So we ended up doing that, and when we did that, literally a day later, she was like, my tip had broke. And so I ended up repairing it, but I repaired it I completely took the Gelx off and then just did acrylic. And then from there, I had explained to her that before we had cut her nails down and completely reshaped them, I had told her, like, look, if we end up doing this, there is chances that your nail is going to break, because I noticed when the apex is in a different spot or you're trying to cut them down and stuff, the nail kind of, like if you were to squeeze it, it's a lot more springy than if you left it in its original shape. I feel like they are a lot stronger when you leave them in their original shape, but if you decide to cut them down and whatnot, that is not going to be the case. But sorry you guys, I am out of frame. You guys know I've been trying to work on what I got going on here, and it's been kind of hard just because the angle where my camera is, it sits at the very edge of my desk, and sometimes my clients will reach all the way over. My desk that I do have is the Alex desk, so I do need to find a way where I'm able to have this where it is out of my way and I could still work efficiently but still get everything on camera for you guys. And I am thinking about getting a monitor, so then I am able to kind of see, and I want to put it on the other side of the desk, where it's basically kind of like more on this client side of the desk, but off to the side. I want to get like a monitor so I can see and always make sure that I am in frame for you guys, because I mean, there's no point in doing a video when the whole thing is out of frame. But now I'm going to go ahead and blend that tip after I am done shaping the sides and making sure that the tips of the nail are nice and straight. And then I am going to be like basically buffing the rest of the nail with my e-file. So I'm going to go in the tip, blend that cuticle area down, and then just file a little bit, and then go across the whole nail with the e-file. I feel like this is a lot faster for me. I feel like I'm able to get a lot more done. But of course, I end up still going in with a buffer along the way. I am not sure if I filmed that part, but if you guys do see it, it is a little pink buffer. It is like the same pink as my gloves. And these gloves, they are actually from our color gloves, but if you guys aren't super sensitive to products, I recommend trying them out. I think they're super cute, but the only thing is that I do feel like if you do a lot of soak-offs and things like that, they are going to end up going through it. Or if you do have a nail allergy, these gloves are definitely not for you, because I don't know what it is, but whether it be gel, monomer, acetone, even on a very, very thick glove, I do feel like acetone and gel, they end up going through it. So I think even this day I had white gel on the back of my hand, on one of my hands, and then I ended up getting an allergic reaction. So yeah, definitely recommend getting a thicker glove. So if you guys have tried nitrile gloves, with me, I am really allergic to the product. So if it gets on my skin ends up getting all itchy and whatnot. And honestly, you guys, my skin just doesn't react really well to any of the nail products besides like Extend Gel. And then I did use Nail Addicts, and Nail Addicts I was able to get away with using that and having like minimal allergic reaction to it, but there was still some allergic reaction to it. But now I am just going to go ahead and push back, and then if I do need to blend out anything else, I'm just going to go ahead and do so. I like to kind of nitpick at this area and make sure that everything is nice and flush, especially when it comes to the cuticle. But now I'm going to go ahead and pull out my gel polishes that I am using. If you guys don't know the brand that I am using, if you guys been here for some time, you guys already know what I'm going to say. But I do use Colorland gels. And these are from Tracy's Nails. Before it was called Tracy's Nail Gel, but she did end up switching her Instagram name and everything. So if you guys are going to look for them on Instagram, look up Colorland Gels. And then if you look up online, they are Tracy's Nails Colorland Gel, and you'll be able to find them. But the color that I am using right here and on the pointer finger is number 21, and it's called Chocolate Wasted. This one is very, very pretty. She wanted to do all brown neutral nails, and of course that is in style. So I am down to do anything in style. I love going with the trends. I feel like it's always fun to do it, and just seeing the colors together, I just feel like it just looks really beautiful in itself. And then next, still going in with that Chocolate Wasted. We were debating whether or not which way we should do it, but we decided we were going to go in with the darker colors on her thumb and pointer finger. I felt like that was actually going to be better for her, especially because she is a hairstylist, so I didn't want her to end up doing color and then getting it on her pointer and thumb and then feeling like they were stained, and she didn't end up liking the way they look. So having the lighter colors on the end actually works better for her. And then the next color we are going to go in with is number 18. This is again from Colorland Gels, and it is I Wonder Why. The names on here are super cute. I really love me some Tracy's Nails. All of her stuff is really amazing. I feel like it goes on really well. I know some people, they say that they didn't like it because of it wrinkling, but honestly, you guys, if you have a strong enough light and you guys are using a base coat, more than likely you're not going to have any wrinkling whatsoever. But I personally don't like using a base coat just because since I do a lot of shaping, I do feel like the base coat kind of takes away a little bit of my shaping, and I don't like that. But it is a very thin base coat. I do want to mention that, just because I know some base coats are actually on the thicker side, but in this case it's not. It's actually very, very thin viscosity, and but I just don't like using it. I like to make sure the nails actually have something to stick to. So even when buffing, I don't buff super thoroughly. The reason why I buff, even though you don't need a smooth surface for gels, is because sometimes when I notice if I don't end up lightly buffing, I feel like sometimes there is a tag of like the filing stuck to the nail, and it is lifted up, and what ends up happening is that when polishing, it is literally stuck on the nail, so I can't get it off, and then I end up having to remove it and then buffing and doing all this extra stuff, when originally I could have just buffed and got that over with instead of doing that. So it just ensures extra smoothness, and of course every client wants their nails extra smooth. But for the next colors I am using is number 20 on the ring finger, and it is called Swipe. And then on that pinky finger, it is Por Favor, and it is in number 19, and they are all Colorline gels. And even though they are super pigmented, I still like to go in with a second coat of it, just because if they end up rubbing their nails up against things and things like that, I don't want them to have a lot of wear and tear. Before, I had made the mistake of doing only one coat on the really pigmented ones, and I felt like they would come in and the corners of their nails would end up rubbing a lot more. And so this basically just kind of helps ensure that none of that is going to be going on. And you guys could see how smooth they go on. And when I put them in the light, I like to put them in the light. The darker colors, I do like to do anywhere from 90 to 60 seconds. And I do feel like the 90 to 60 seconds, I do feel like it really does help ensure that they are on there. And usually after this, usually after doing this coat, I do recommend them stay in the light even after the light comes off. But you guys see that little bit of gel that I ended up putting on my cuticle, or like on my skin. What ended up happening is I ended up actually having an allergic reaction to that. My hand ended up getting swollen. And you can see that one that we are putting on the pointer finger, it's called I Wonder Why. And that one is so pretty. I love that. One of my favorite ones right now that we are using on her is I Wonder Why in Swipe. Swipe is a very pretty color. I really love using Swipe. Matte or glossy, honestly, I feel like they both look really good. And then when you guys are working on the thumbs, especially the thumbs, and if you're using a Chiara Sky lamp, I recommend definitely making sure by the cuticle area it is nice and thin, just because then I feel like you will end up feeling like there is like the gel does wrinkle, just because I do feel like this light, I don't know what it is, I don't know if it doesn't have enough reflectiveness around it, but I do feel like it doesn't cure my gels as well as my artistic lamp that I had. I love it because it is cordless and everything, but when it comes to the thumb, the lights, for whatever reason, it just never really cures the thumbs good enough. So definitely recommend going in and making sure that your clients have their thumb facing towards the light, just because the way the lights are set up in there, it's, I don't know, like I feel like they don't really point at the thumb too much. And especially if your clients have long nails, it's kind of a little bit even worse. But yeah, so if you guys are just doing gel manicures, honestly, I don't feel like you would have a problem with it. But usually when my clients always put their hand in the light, you want to make sure that their nails are actually pointing straight at the light. You don't want to end up putting it towards the light, or like not putting it towards the light and having that wrinkling. So the reason why the wrinkling happens is because if it is not thoroughly cured and it's curing unevenly. So I feel like the gel, it ends up getting a little bit tighter, and then what happens is that at the bottom it cures and at the top it lightly cures, and so it just ends up shriveling because they're not curing at the same time, and then underneath the nail it ends up staying wet. So if you do end up experiencing any shriveling at all, definitely file that nail off, or you end up having to, or like something that I have done is I've cured it for 90 seconds and it's helped gotten rid of that stickiness. And then basically what I'll end up going over and doing is lightly buffing and then top coating over it, so just to get out the wrinkles. And that basically makes it to where the gel stays on and it's not going to go anywhere. Alright, you guys, and then this is my second coat, and look how beautiful they look. You guys could already see the colors that they all were before. Honestly, it didn't even really need a second coat, and I do feel like on Gelx you're actually able to get away with not having to do a second coat, just because I feel like, I don't know what it is, but the gel and the gel, the way they stick together, I feel like it lasts so much longer on Gelx than it would on an acrylic set. But now I'm going to go ahead and go in with Colorland Tracy's Nails Top Coat. This stuff is bomb, you guys. If you guys haven't tried it, try it out. I freaking love it. That is like one of my most favorite top coats. And then if there is any gel or anything, or any fibers in the cuticle or dust or any particles at all, make sure to get rid of them, because once you cure them, they end up curing into the nail, and it is so much harder to get rid of them after you're done curing. Alright, you guys, so in just a minute you guys are going to be able to see the finished look. I definitely recommend, if you guys haven't tried Gelx already, I definitely recommend having it in your nail kit, just because I do feel like now more times than not I'm hearing a lot of people becoming allergic to the product. And even with Gelx, if your clients are allergic to the Extend Gel, they do have a sensitive one, so I feel like that is really, really great. I feel like it's a great option for our clients. You guys could see this is how her nails turned out. They are a very nice tapered square. They look so beautiful. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Have you guys tried Gelx? Do you guys like Gelx? I know a lot of people use Nail Couture, so let me know what you guys think. If you guys tried Gelx versus Nail Couture, I like to hear the nail talk. So definitely don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I'll be back with more videos. Bye!